every school in the country is going to be licking their lips for you.
You wanted to say something, I can tell.
Kind of takes a while to do.
Oh, we shouldn't have done any face.
The fucking bird.
You should have snapped. I think I did too.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another athlete special video, and we've got a different video for you guys today, so let's get it started. So today is Friday, September 21st. It's 4 o'clock. We had a workout today, and I'm drinking some coffee right now, pretty much only for the aesthetic of this video. But I thought I would sit down and have a little chat with you guys. I've been getting a lot of comments lately on just the recruiting process, my story, where I came from, and I want to touch upon the recruiting aspect of sports in general. So this video is going to be about how to get recruited to an athletic program in college. And I'm a runner, so if you just clicked on this video, you think, oh, he's just a runner, so like I'm just gonna click out of the video because it doesn't apply to my sport, like soccer, basketball, lacrosse. That's not true. I think that what I have to say applies to all sports, but my knowledge comes from running, so there are certain aspects within the time frame of recruiting that I would only be able to touch upon from a runner's perspective, but I still think that I do have valuable tips for any athlete looking to get recruited. This coffee is really bad, by the way. What I wanted to first say, and what I first want to say is, bruh, if you're trying to get recruited just to help you get into a school for college, I don't think that is the best approach to take. You really have to sit yourself down and say, do I love this sport so much that I want to take it to the next level? Not, I'm just going to keep playing soccer and hopefully I can get into a good school because I'm good at it. Now that I've probably bored you guys all to death, I want to talk a little bit more about performance and the types of performance coaches are looking for. I think it's safe to say that coaches really like to see game time performances. They want to see you win championships or do well when it matters. They like athletes that are clutch. So performing at the end of your season well is one of the most, or if not the most important aspect of getting recruited to good schools. For running, you want to run your best times as a junior. You're gonna edit this and it's gonna be tough. How to perform well when it matters is such a mental thing. I suggest that you guys go on the internet and look up how to improve my mental performance, because a lot of it's physical, but so much of it is mental in those big moments, because it's easy to choke when it matters. And if you can get to the point where you're just clutch, every school in the country is going to be licking their lips for you. So once you've had that heart-to-heart with your family and whatever, yourself, about, you know what, this is what I want to do. I want to take my sport to the next level, and you're looking to get recruited to schools, you need to start talking to coaches. I began emailing and talking to coaches in my junior year of high school, and I visited a couple schools unannounced and then like asked if I could meet with the coaches. And a lot of the times when you do this, you're not going to actually be able to meet with the coach. I think in some of the schools I visited, in unofficial visits, I met with the assistant coach, and you also find that coaches don't necessarily want you. It's very important to be very professional with how you act in front of the coaches that you are getting recruited by. If you're on the phone with them, be polite, be kind. Coaches don't really like cocky guys. That means don't be posting stupid things on social media. Coaches do look at that. And always be aware of who you're talking to when you're getting recruited, because if you're a nice guy and maybe a school isn't interested in you, maybe they'll give in a good word about another school that would be interested in you. Yeah, so I started looking at schools late in my junior year. In the spring, I went to visit schools all in the East Coast. I couldn't officially start talking to coaches and texting them until July 1st. That's the standard date for track and field. It might be different for other sports. And then in the fall, that is the main time period where you're gonna go on official visits and really get a feel for the schools you're going to end up wanting to go to. Now, I can get into details on official visits real quick. You normally set them up in the mid-summer, late summer, or early fall of the coach. You want to try to get a coach's email or their number. You email them showing them your interest in the school, and they will say, hey, we'd like to take you on an official visit. They might say, hey, we don't want to take you on an official visit. And then from there, you go on an official visit. You get out to the school somehow, you're there for 48 hours, you live with some of the guys on the team, and you really get a feel for the actual school. And this is a great time to just really reflect on if this is the place you want to be at, and if you feel as if you get along with the guys on the team, the academics of the school are what you're looking for, then I would definitely keep it in the bracket of schools you'd like to go to. And then obviously it's the opposite for visits that you don't feel, as comfortable on. And that's just really about being true to yourself. That's sort of how the official visits work.
Yeah,
It's fine, it's fine.
All right, have you started this book?
Yeah.
Now I want to talk a little bit about scholarships and how they work, and just important things people would probably like to know. First is that coaches will probably prioritize guys from their own states, because then the school is cheaper to get into. You can start off with no scholarship at a school and then move up if you perform better throughout the years. There's also deals where you start off with no scholarship but you're promised a specific amount after, I don't know, freshman or sophomore or junior year. And there's obviously full rides. But like I said, that's the type of thing that you have to talk about with your specific coach that you're looking at the school with. So I want to talk a little bit about how grades influence your chances of going to a college program for an athletic program. It's sort of like a sliding scale. If you've run faster or if you're like a better basketball player, you tend to need a little bit lower scores to get into schools. Obviously, you still need to get better scores if you're looking at an Ivy League school or just like a pretty good school in general. But it is true that sports do make it easier to get into a school. You are allowed to have lower SAT, ACTs. Now, I want to touch upon the looking at. I'll just restart this. Now, I also think it's really important that you do your research on the schools you're looking at. If you're interested in a school and you're a distance runner, but you check the roster and there's a lot of other distance runners already there, the coach, there's a very good chance the coach isn't looking to be recruiting distance runners. So maybe if you're a middle distance runner at a school where there's a lot of distance runners but not a lot of middle distance runners, you want to target that school more and show interest in that school. On the point of talking about like your event category, I think it's also important to look at schools that have good history with your specific event category. For running, Georgetown has had a lot of success for middle distance runners, and that sort of put a lot of weight on why I wanted to go to Georgetown, because they're really successful with my event category, and I know that I can do better at a school that suits runners like me. Okay, so hopefully for people who have already found schools that they're interested in, okay, so let me just restart that. So yeah, hopefully for guys and gals who have already found schools that they're interested in, like I said earlier, it's important to email the coaches that you are really, really interested. But rule number one, and the biggest rule I'd say, is don't talk about money the first time talking with a coach, whether it's email, text, or in person. Don't say,
how much money are you going to give me, or I want this much money, or I'm not interested.
I really think that for many coaches it's a big turnoff with them if you immediately just want to talk money and act as if it's just a business. Coaches are more interested in who you are as an athlete at first, and they'd like to get to know you before you're all of a sudden talking numbers and trying to talk business with them. So don't talk about money with coaches right away. I think that you would maybe want to segue a conversation into money at some point, but don't talk about money right off the bat. So quickly, I just want to talk about commitments and when is a good time to commit. I know a lot of these other sports like soccer, lacrosse especially, even football, they've got guys who verbally commit as sophomores, even freshmen. I think for lacrosse, people commit as freshmen. I'll let you know right now, verbal commitments mean nothing. They may mean a little bit more in other sports besides running, but until you have written that agreement that you're going to a school and if you're getting any scholarship money, it means nothing. So don't bank on a verbal commitment. Now, a good time to commit, personally, I committed in the fall of my senior year. That's about when most of the runners commit, fall to the winter of your senior year. So late October, early November is probably a good time. You can push it back though, even to February. Some guys push it back till March. It never hurts to push back when you want to commit to a school. However, you do roll the dice a little bit that if a school wants you to commit in the fall and you're like, no, I'm gonna hold off till the winter and just open up some of my other options, then maybe you crawl back to that school in the winter and they're like, we have no more room for you, sorry. All right guys, that's about everything I'd like to tell you guys about the recruiting process. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns about this video, comment below. I'd love to respond to every single one of you guys. I could probably give you guys a good answer about just about anything with the recruiting process, specifically for running, but other sports, I can give it a shot as well. That's about it. So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.